Today, I ran my first ultra marathon. I didn't have a marathon for this weekend for the 50 States Marathon Challenge. Last week was number 20 marathon of the year, 18th state of the year, which is incredible. And so this week, since I've run a marathon every week for the past 20 weeks, I was asking myself, should I run another marathon this week? So my buddy and I went out in the morning. He ran a half with me, and then I was just supposed to run another half. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm running, I'm like, because he's a little bit slow. This is Tyler, Tyler's running slow during the half. Well, if I continue at this pace, why don't I just try to go for 40? So I told him when we were at the halfway mark, I was like, I'm going for 40 today. And he's like, oh, wow. So spontaneous neighborhood ultra on pavement, running laps, 5 miles down, 5 back. There's this whole route that I do in bathrooms and water, and didn't have a water bottle whatsoever, no salt, no food. There's a restaurant on the route, so around mile 37, I stopped for the restaurant. Mile 32, I stopped to get water. Definitely pulled this thing together last minute, but I got to mile 37 and I was my face was numb and something was wrong. My arms started tingling and I had no salt in me. I had just downed a ton of water from one of the places on the route, but because I wasn't taking salt, I just absolutely dehydrated my body because I'm pulling all those electrolytes to, neutralize or whatever the water that I just drank. And so I stopped at a store to get some, liquid IV and lemonade, and I just started downing it. And I called up a buddy of mine. I'm like, hey, because he's done an ultra marathon before. I was like, hey, I'm going to need your help. Can you do these last 13 miles? He pulls up, which is crazy. And we finished the next 13 miles, and it's 10:30. Right now, it's 11:20. And I finished my first 50-mile ultra marathon. No planning, no equipment, just went for it and did it. Just goes to show that A, you have no idea what you're capable of, so just do it. Just go for it. Why not? Worst that happens is that you fail, and then you know where your limit is. Best that happens is that you discover I'm capable of so much more. Who would have guessed? Who would have thought someone like me could run a 50-mile ultra marathon? Now, reckon that because I've run a marathon every week for the past 20 weeks, you could assume that I could run a 50-mile, but you don't know. I didn't know until I went out there and just did it today. So whatever it is, it's asking that girl. These are the common examples. There's the girl that you like, or there's the job, the raise, or the whatever it is. It's there's not enough time. There's not enough time to just sit by and allow yourself to not go for it. There has to be a sense of urgency on this life because time flies. And if you don't take hold of it, it will pull like a string, and your ball of yarn will be a thread once everything's over. So it'll happen a lot faster than you think. And I've noticed that because I'm 22, I'm doing all these crazy events every single week, and the past 4 months have flown, Now, they have felt like 8 months. They've doubled my time. But still, time flies. And so whatever it is, be bold. There's not time in this life to sit by and let it watch it pass you by. Whatever that phrase is. And I absolutely messed it up, but you get the point. So what's the daily thoughts for today? Be bold. Go for it. Why not? That's the mentality to have. It's just, all right, I'm going to be bold. 30 seconds of insane courage from We Bought a Zoo. That concept is just go out there and do it. Whatever it is, like that girl's photo on Instagram, slide up on her DMs. DM her. Ask her out on a date. Try to see if you can go on a run with her or grab her dinner or whatever it is. I'm saying these things because part of the reason why I ran this ultra marathon today is because this girl that I like posted a photo on her story and just gave me all the encouragement of the world. Who am I to ask her to go on a date with me? I got to prove myself. I got to get out there and do something with my life, And this is not, it's shallow to think that just looking for looks is where it ends. I'm not saying that because she was very pretty and that I liked her in that regard, I should do everything in my will to make sure that this works out with her. That's not what I'm saying. It's more so the concept of like, if I want my wife to be the most gorgeous, drop dead, beautiful, smart, just every characteristic, courageous, charismatic, great at talking with people, a great mother, a wonderful person in conversation, a good storyteller, like all these different aspects, that's going to require a lot from me, to actually pull that off. My wife is going to be leaps and bounds better than me. And, I would consider myself a high level guy just because of the life decisions that I made to get me to this spot, right? But even then, like, she is just going to be leaps and bounds beyond. So this girl that gave me that encouragement this morning to go out there, maybe she's not the one, but it's just the reminder of the idea of the one, that whoever she is, I will have to be doing 10 times more than that. Running a 50-mile ultramarathon is nothing compared to what I'll have to do to be worthy of even considering asking someone like my future wife on a date. So standards are high. Just go for it. Be bold. There's not time to wait around. And if you do, you'll become bitter. So to maintain optimism in this life, to be excited, to share the optimism with everyone around you, you have to be able to do things, crazy things, be bold. Like, when you stop doing crazy things, when you stop taking risks, that's when you become bitter. So if you don't want to get to that spot, then be bold. Do something that you really don't think you're capable of or want to do. A buddy of mine ran his first half marathon today. That was another bit of encouragement. It's like, if he's going to run 13 miles, having never ran more than like 3 or maybe like 6, then I can try to run 40. I've done 26 every single weekend. Let me go push my limits, especially because it's not going to matter. I don't have a race this weekend. So, yeah, that's one lesson. And the other one is, what are they going to remember? That you ran 50 miles during one day? Or that, you took breaks along the way and like you had to stop because like your face was numb, and like these are all really good details for one, but for the other, like, it doesn't matter if you had to stop. And I stopped for an hour at mile 24, came back home and ate some food and took a shower and drove back out there. So it was like an hour and a half of empty time. Who cares? No one cares. They're gonna say like, wow, you ran 50 miles in one day. That's what matters, is that I went out there and I did it. It doesn't matter how I did it. It doesn't matter that it was not pretty, that it was sweaty, and like I was raw dogging it. I had no equipment, all these different things. Like, if anything, those details are what makes it such a killer story. So whatever position you're in, you have no excuse to get started, to be bold, and to go out there and just do it. Because if you fail, you're failing far above everyone else who never even tried. And you're learning exactly where you need to strengthen yourself to become worthy of whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in this life. I love you so much. You have no idea. Not in a weird way, but more in like a brotherly love, I have the best interest for everyone, and I'm trying to share these ideas and my personal experience in the moment. That way you can learn from everything that I'm going through, and hopefully this gives you insight on what my life looks like so that you know what a potential life experience could be for you. If someone else is out there just ripping an ultra on the concrete one weekend just because, why don't I do that? Like, I know that that's possible. I now have permission to go out there and try something like that because my buddy Wyatt did it. You know what I mean? Like, be that guy in your friend group where you're just doing crazy stuff and people see it and then they get excited and they message you on Instagram like, hey, I know we haven't talked in like 3 years, but you're killing it, man. Like, you've encouraged me to start running. When people start saying that to you, that's when you know, like, I'm doing something right. Because if anything, I'm having an impact on the people that are close to me that I haven't been able to reach out to. And so luckily, the thing that I'm doing now is interesting enough to actually merit them reaching out to me, which is huge. There's so many positive benefits. You will never, there's never a negative when you're bold, unless you're being like cocky bold. It's got to be like good, coming from a good heart, boldness with good character. So learn how to be a good person. Learn how to, always be on the watch and how to always be trying to strengthen yourself, and then be bold. And yeah, basically everything here is just, you have no excuse. Go out there and just do it, and do it big, do it bold. That way you have a great story to tell. And every detail that might, slow you down or whatever, it does not matter, because in the end, it's probably gonna make for a better story. So I'm gonna eat this cold pizza and cold chicken because I ran 50 miles today. Why not us?